The agents in this section are the ones who stopped an individual stockpiling weapons, who planned to attack schools and churches in Florida and seized bombs made by an ISIS sympathizer in New Orleans. And instead of ensuring that this section has all the resources that it needs at a time when its mission is critical, you fired its decorated veteran FBI agents who have served their country proudly under Republican and both Democratic presidents, and you scrapped the tools that they developed to fight domestic terrorism, including the National Domestic Terrorism Incident Database.
I mean, most of that is just not true. We have 1,700 current DT managed programs. We're up 300% in the amount of cases we brought against nihilistic, violent extremists, including 764, wishing to harm our children. The FBI and the men and women are getting after that problem set more than ever because I've unleashed them to do so. And any situation that these tragic occurrences across the country are somehow singularly my fault or disgusting because that watershed goes down to the men and women at the FBI, and they are not responsible for it. I'm happy to work with you to get them what they need.
Gentle lady controls the time. Unanimous consent request. You'll state a request.
Thank you very much. Into the record, an article from Reuters titled FBI Scales Back Staffing, Tracking of Domestic Terrorism, Probes Sources Say. Thank you very much.
Without objection.
I appreciate that. So, Mr. Patel, and it isn't just the domestic terrorism operations section. Under your watch, agents are fully diverting their attention to these anti-immigrant and city takeover operations, leaving our children vulnerable to dangerous networks of online predators, both domestic and international. You pulled more than 120 FBI agents from their normal duties to operate sobriety checks and conduct traffic stops, exposing the FBI's fleet of unmarked cars and thereby making it harder for the FBI to combat violent criminal gangs, foreign intelligence services, and drug traffickers in the process.
That's simply not true. If we were not able to do two things at one time, how would we be seizing record amounts of fentanyl? 23,000 violent felons have been arrested.
Time belongs to the gentlelady.
More than twice as many as last year.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Georgia.
Thank you very much. And this request basically is, it is an article from Reuters, which quotes law enforcement officers familiar with agents who once covered child exploitation cases, but now focus on immigration child exclusive. Thousands of agents diverted to Trump immigration track down. Mr. Patel, in the short time I have left, your tenure as director of FBI has been somewhat problematic. Americans are left definitely less safe under your watch. You have gutted the FBI's ability to keep safe from domestic terrorism. You have sent FBI agents to conduct traffic stops and round up hardworking immigrants who pose no danger to public safety. People even President Trump referred to as good, long-time workers. Your job is to protect and serve the American public.
I'm the gentlelady.
You have spent your time protecting heinous individuals and using the FBI to serve as a political circus. You at times have appeared unequipped. This country deserves better, and I yield.
Gentlelady yields back.
May I respond?
Sure can.
Simply put, what is it? Are we failing? If we're failing, how are we arresting 23,000 violent felons? Twice as many as this time last year. Are we failing? Because if we're failing, how are we seizing 1,500 kilograms of meth, 25% increase from last year? Are we failing? Because we captured 4 top 10 FBI most wanted from around the world in
Representative Lucy McBath's questioning of FBI Director Kash Patel revealed significant concerns about the Bureau's shifting priorities and leadership approach. McBath, who lost her own son to gun violence, brought personal experience and detailed evidence to her examination of Patel's tenure as FBI Director. Her critique centered on substantive policy decisions rather than political positioning. McBath outlined troubling changes under Patel's leadership. Domestic terrorism operations were reportedly scaled back. Critical agents were reassigned from extremist threat monitoring, and key databases tracking such threats were discontinued. Resources were redirected toward immigration enforcement and other initiatives, while ideologically motivated violence continued affecting communities nationwide. This shift raises fundamental questions about the FBI's priorities at a time when domestic extremism remains a pressing concern. The exchange highlights broader concerns about federal law enforcement maintaining its impartiality. When agencies respond to political pressures rather than focusing on national threats, public safety can be compromised regardless of political affiliation. The FBI's effectiveness depends on its ability to remain focused on genuine security concerns rather than partisan considerations. Patel's response emphasized statistics, including arrests, drug seizures, and fugitives captured. While these numbers represent legitimate law enforcement activities, they didn't directly address McBath's central question about why domestic terrorism monitoring was reduced during a period of rising, politically motivated violence. The disconnect between citing operational metrics and addressing strategic priorities became apparent during the exchange. McBath's questioning challenged the metrics by which law enforcement success is measured. Volume-based achievements, like arrest numbers, can create impressions of progress without necessarily improving public safety outcomes. Her focus remained on whether the FBI's mission of preventing harm was being adequately fulfilled under current leadership priorities. The exchange grew tense when Patel characterized McBath's criticism as attacking the FBI itself. McBath clarified her position. She was questioning leadership decisions, not disparaging agents. Her tone reflected concern about policy choices and their consequences for communities vulnerable to violence and extremism. The distinction between criticizing leadership decisions and attacking an institution is important for meaningful oversight. This hearing demonstrated the role of congressional oversight in examining federal law enforcement priorities. McBath's questions focused on whether resources are allocated effectively to address current threats and whether leadership maintains focus on the FBI's core mission of protecting Americans. The exchange illustrated ongoing tensions between operational metrics and strategic mission fulfillment, between statistical achievements and community safety outcomes, and between defending institutional image and addressing substantive policy concerns.